Good morning, everyone. We're going to be working on multiplication again this week. We're going to use our strategy we practiced last week. We're going to use that on a few questions, and we're also going to practice a new strategy, the traditional algorithm multiplication strategy. So let's do the first strategy we did last week. So 5 times 3 ones, we're going to use go by each place value. 5 times 3 ones is 15. Next, we're going to look at the tens place value. So we're going to do 5 times 4 tens, which is the same as saying 40. So we have 40 times 5. So first we're going to go 5 times 0, and that's 0 every time in our ones place value. Then we're going to do 5 times 4, and that's 20, or 5 times 4 tens is 200. All right. Next, we're going to go to our hundreds place value, so 5 times 200. So we've got 5 times 0 ones, and that's going to be 0 in the ones, because 0 times anything is 0. 5 times 0 tens is 0. And finally, 5 times 2 hundreds, and that's going to give us 5 times 2 is 10, or this will be 1,000. Now if you want, you can separate your place values. If that helps you, you don't need to. So my ones is here. It's not very clear. Next time I'm going to do a better job. There's my tens that I'll be adding together. There's my hundreds, and then there's my thousands. And I'm going to, of course, get my line in there. I'm adding it all together. So 5 ones plus 0 ones is 5. We've got 1 10 plus 0 tens is going to be 1. We've got 2 hundreds plus 0 hundreds is 2. And finally, we've got 1,000, and there's nothing else, so 1,000. So our answer is 243 times 5 is 1,215. Now let's do the same question with our new strategy, the traditional algorithm multiplication strategy. So what we'll do is we'll line up like this. We'll put the bigger number on top, 243, and we're going to times that by 5. And we're going to get our equal line. Anything underneath the line is what it's equal to, what our product is. So what we're going to do is we're going to times the 5 by each place value. So we're going to first go 5 times 3 ones. We're going to go 5 times 3. And 5 times 3 is 15. Now I'm not going to write 15 like this underneath. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to write the number in the ones place value, which is the 5. And the 1 I'm going to carry over. So 5 times 3 is 15. So I'm going to put the ones place value number, which is the 5 out of the 15. Here, and I'm going to carry over the 1. Now, next I'm going to go 5 times the tens place value. So 5 times 4. So 5 times 4 is 20. Now I'm not going to write 20 right away underneath. We don't do that. First we have to, 5 times 4 is 20, but we carried over a 1. So we actually add the 1 to the 20. So it's not 5 times 4 is 20, it's 5 times 4 is 20, plus 1 is 21. So I'm going to write the 1 at the bottom. I'm not writing 21 like this. I'm going to write the 1, and I'm going to bring this 2 and carry it over here. So the 1 stays on the bottom, the 2 goes on top to the next place value. Now 5 times 200, 5 times 2. And that's going to be 5 times 2 is 10, but I'm not going to write 10 down here. I have to remember to add the 2. So 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. Now typically, I would write the 2 and carry over the 1, which I still could do, but we really don't need to because there's no other number in this place value. So 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12, so I can just write the 12 like this. Oh, look at that! Let's check. Did we get the same answer? We did 2 different strategies. Are they the same number? Yeah, so we know we have for sure this correct. So our answer is 1,215. Let's do one more example of the traditional algorithm strategy just for practice. Okay, so let's do this question here with our traditional algorithm. So 763 times 4. We're going to rewrite it as like this, 763 times 4. And we're going to start with our ones place value. So we're going to go 4 times 3 ones. 4 times 3 we know is 12. So we're going to put the 2 at the bottom, carry over the 1, 10, to the tens place value. Now 4 times 6 is, and if we're not sure, remember we use our array strategy like we practiced last time, but we already know, or I know that 4 times 6 is 24. And so I'm not going to write 24 because I don't have to remember to add 1 that we carried over. So 24 plus 1 is 25. So I'm going to keep the 5 at the bottom, carry over the 2. And finally, 4 times 7 is 28, plus 2 is 30. And now I would also go and I might also do my other strategy. And you can always actually set this up before you even do any of your work. So I have my ones place value in orange, my tens place value multiplying together in the green, 4 times 60, and then 4 times 700. And now I'm ready to do my work. So 2 times 4 ones is going to be 8. Then I have 4 times 60, and that's going to be 4 times 0 first is 0. Then I go to my tens place value, 4 times 6 is going to be 24. And then finally I go to my yellow hundreds place value, 4 times 0, 0. 4 times 0 tens, 0 tens. And then 4 times 7 is 28. And I got my place values all lined up already. So I'm ready to add. Add them all together. And I'm going to even separate my place values because that helps me. There's my ones. There's my tens. There's my hundreds. And then there's my thousands. So let's add it all together. 8 plus 0 in the ones is 8 ones. We've got 4 tens plus 0 tens is 4. 2 tens plus 8 tens is 10. Tens are also, or hundreds, also 1,000. So 2 plus 8 is 0, carry the 1. So 1,000 plus 3,000, or 1,000 plus 2,000 is 3,000. What happened here? I noticed that this answer is different than this answer, so I must have made a mistake. This is why it's so important to always double check our work, or especially when we're first learning to double check. This is why it's important to have these different strategies. And in this instance, I realized I wrote down a 2 instead of a 3. So see, it's 763, and I wrote 762. So that's why I'm going to change it to a 3. And I'll change this to a 3. So 3 times 4 is not 8, it's 12. And that's going to change my answer. So this is going to be a 12 instead of an 8. So let's fix this. 2 plus 0 is not this. It's going to be a 2. And 1 plus 4 is 5. Now we have 3,052. Now both are the same. And by just double checking my work, it appears that I miswrote down the question. And sometimes it'll be within our work. But that's why this is a good example of why you would want to double check your work. So if in the next couple days you guys can practice these questions, you don't need to submit them to me on Wednesday. Wednesday night, Thursday morning, I'll send out an email just with some questions you guys can do to submit to me on Teams. But for the next few days, these are some questions you guys can practice, these 6 questions. For each one, I want you to practice using both strategies, both multiplying using our place values and adding it together at the end, and practicing our traditional algorithm strategy. So have fun, and I'll send out a new email in a couple days with some questions to submit to Teams. Have a great week, everyone.